tonight. Today is February 9th, 2026, and we are here live at the City Hall, and we are live on our city website as our YouTube page, and we are here at the Honorable Mary Jo Haber Council Chamber here at City Hall. And this is our monthly City Council meeting, and at this time, we would like to have our roll call by our clerk.
Mayor Pro Tem Barlow,
Here.
Councilmember Breen, here, Councilman Morgan,
Here.
Councilman Collins,
Here.
Councilman Paul,
Here.
Councilman Palmer.
Here. Okay. At this time, we're going to open with a word of prayer, and following our prayer, we're going to do the pledge of allegiance to the flag. And I would like to ask Reverend Ananias Hyde Hopkins to come up and open us with a word of prayer.
Let us bow our heads. Eternal God, we are grateful for this nation. We are grateful for this state and this city and county. We are grateful to Father because it is you that continues to bless us with the blessings and provide for us. So Lord, we invite you now into this meeting, that thou would get in the hearts of each and every person that's in attendance and those who are listening. We'll be sure to give you
Starting
praise
route to
and
Sister
glory.
Carol's home.
In Jesus' name we pray.
Head east at
Amen.
East Broad Street.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Once again, I want to thank you, Reverend Hopkins, for that opening prayer, and also council and citizens. I want to thank you for that pledge of allegiance to the flag. Before we get started tonight, I want to take a moment to address our expectations for our decorum and respect during our meeting. Our city council meetings are a place for public business, thoughtfulness, discussions, and respectful dialogue. While differing opinions are expected and are welcome, all discussions, whether among council members and the public, we must conduct ourselves with professionalism and respect. I ask that those in attendance in the to refrain in the gallery, rather, to refrain from sidebar conversations, comments from the gallery. And this right here will maintain an orderly meeting. Please ensure all cell phones are silenced. And if you need to take a call, just step out in the gallery and take your call in the chamber area. And to my fellow council members here on this council, I want to emphasize that while we may not always agree on every issue, we share a responsibility to treat each other with courtesy and respect as we conduct the business of this city. Now, maintaining a respectful environment, council, it will allow us to focus on the work of our city and to ensure those meetings will remain productive and welcoming to everyone. And I would like to thank you all for your cooperation. Now, at this time, moving on to our agenda for tonight, I would like to give an approval for our agenda. And before we approve our agenda, I would like to amend our agenda to have action item number 7, the gym projects change order, which is number 1. And as you can recall in your email, you should have seen that email. So I would like to amend the agenda to add that action item.
I'd like to add an item to the agenda as well, please.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to add to tonight's agenda as item number 8, a change in the current PCA or cost adjustment for the city.
Okay. All right, can we get a motion? Okay, there has been motion and second. All right. All those in favor for adding item 7, gym project change order and PCA rate adjustment. All in favor? All those opposed? All right, motion has been carried. These items will be added. Now, going to our minutes. I'd like to get an approval for our January 12th, 2026 council meeting, and also January the 21st, 2026 call council meeting.
Mr. Gurley, on the call council meeting, January 21st, would it be possible to add a copy of Mr. Valenti's report? He gave us a report that went along with that, and a letter, basically. I don't know if that would be a possibility or not.
Specifically, which letter is the one that passed out?
The one he passed out to everyone is 2.5 pages. I didn't bring a copy of it with me, but I can send you a copy. I would, thank you.
Okay.
I just add to that request, we potentially have a notice or note that the full audit report is located online as well. I think both of those documents should be compared together.
All right, that request will be done. Thank you. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor? Show of sign of aye. All right, those opposed, same sign. All right, that motion has been carried for approving our minutes for January the 12th and also January the 21st. All right, now at this time, we're going to have our speaker appearance. And just note, if your speaker appears, please state your name and address, and we welcome you for at this time. Any speaker appearance in the minutes.
Good evening, council. I'm Scarlett Langley, Executive Director for Southwest Georgia Moving Forward Incorporated, a nonprofit organization here in Camilla. I'm here on behalf of the senior citizens in Camilla. About a year ago, we started a program with the senior citizens here in Camilla for all senior citizens. And the city of Camilla reached out to me regarding being the contractor for that program. In that, I spoke with the Mayor Pro Tem several times regarding that program, and we began going on outings, which we still do, and doing various events. Namely, the speaker ball that the city was a sponsor on, which we are appreciating. Since then, the Mayor Pro Tem and I, we talked about discussing the things that would go on with the senior citizens. Mind you, my organization services 14 counties, and my concern is the policy or the plan of action that was presented to you all last week, that was humbly submitted, respectfully submitted by Mayor Pro Tem Burley, which had about 90% of ideas that I presented to him from my organization, which I presented to the city of Camilla, as well as several other counties in Southwest Georgia, as well as my attorney. My thing is, I'm here on behalf of the senior citizens for the city of Camilla. I never called the city and asked the city for any money. I'm not asking the city of Camilla for any money right now. I'm just asking that what was promised to the senior citizens by Mayor Pro Tem Burley, that he got on the land and said to them numerous of times that those things be, honored. We have not stopped. We will not stop. We are constantly going, and we will continue to go. But I also wanted to let you all know, as I stated last week, if you all are still interested in partnering with Southwest Georgia Moving Forward Incorporated and Camilla City Citizens on the Move, we will gladly be honored to partner with you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other speaker appearance at this time? Okay. Hearing none, we're going to have Mrs. Emily Davenport to come up, and Mrs. Davenport is our GMA rep for our area, District 10, and it is an honor to have you with us tonight, and at this time, I'm going to open it up to you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. It's so good to be here with you guys. I think last time I was here, I was presenting a big check, so that was always nice to do for y'all's fire department. But I did want to just kind of touch base, and I appreciate y'all the opportunity to be here. I know that there was some questions recently in terms of the city manager interview process right now, and so I just wanted to kind of do a little touch base back with you all, so y'all understood kind of where GMA is, our role, and how we handle everything. So in front of each of you, I did hand out one of our program brochures. It kind of goes over all the different services that we provide. I also provided you the copy of y'all's service report. So that covers everything that we offer in terms of services. It should be the second page that you got right there. And so if there's a check by that, that means that you guys are participating in that program. And so I know that there was a question about what all do we provide that's covered by our dues, as well as what do we provide that doesn't have a fee and then what does have a fee. And so, Councilor Paul, I know you reached out about that. I wish I could give you like a master list that shows everything, but we don't have something that shows all the different things that we offer, because it really just depends on the cities and what they need. I'm sure that y'all are familiar with GMA, so we have been incorporated since 1933, so we serve no one but the cities of Georgia, which is all 536. The way that works for the city, for GMA, they divide us up into districts. So in that brochure, you'll see in there, I think it's actually the second page, it'll show you the breakout of the district. So I represent District 10 and 11, which is 88 cities in South Georgia. So I'm originally from Moultrie. I live and work out of Valdosta, so South Georgia's been my home. I'm very glad to be y'all's member service consultant. So GMA created these member service consultants back in 2020. We had some kind of unofficial roles with that prior to that, but they realized they wanted to have representatives that live in the district that serve each of the communities. So I am really y'all's one-stop shop. So if you've got any kind of questions with anything that deals with GMA, you reach out to me. If you're not even sure if it's GMA, but you're like, who do we get for this information? Then you just reach out to me and I'll find it. If it's not us, I'll find out which sister agency can help you. So what happened in terms of your city manager search that you guys are currently in the process of doing? I was actually contacted December 31st by your HR director. I did not get that email at that time, so I think we were trying to do all the immigration reports at the end of the year, and of course that transition of the holiday, so I missed that email from him. And then Councilmember Green reached out to me, I think it was early January, I was on my way back from Atlanta, and just said, is that something that we could help with, or do we have people that we could recommend to y'all? For us, we do not do the full analysis of any kind of executive review. We just provide a courtesy of the applications that y'all receive, and then of course based on your job descriptions. Now there are certainly firms that you can hire who will go in and do all the background checks for you, that will do all the advertising, do national searches, and of course there's fees for that. We do not get in that type of review. Ours is really just kind of a little overview for y'all. As I'm sure you'll know, GMA is not a regulatory agency. We are not an enforcer. We are here just as a resource to each of our cities. So what I did when I finally spoke with Kent, I spoke with him on a Friday. I was here that following Monday, went through those based on the applications that y'all had. If I remember correctly, I think it was just over 16 maybe, I was gonna say 20, but I think it was 15 or 16. Reviewed those here, did not leave any of the information, provided back a summary report. I believe it was on Wednesday. So just wanted to kind of let you know the way that works for us. We do not have a preference. We do not tell you who to hire. One of the other things that I did share with Kent is that if y'all needed some sample questions or even wanted potential city managers in the area that have been in the position for a while to sit in on your interview process, again, not to have a vote, but just to be there in case y'all had some questions or needed clarification, then I'll be happy to help coordinate that with you guys. But at the end of the day, we're just a resource. We try not to put ourselves on the cities. We try to make sure you just know we are available. And at any point, if there's everything that we could ever help you with, that's what we're here for. So, but I did want to just have that chance to share that with you guys and see if y'all had any questions or if there's anything that I could clarify for y'all as well since I'm here.
Kimber, you said in December HR?
Yes, sir. Ken emailed me, it was December 31st.
December 31st?
And was that your first contact from the city?
Yes.
December 31st?
And I did not get it. So just like how your emails weren't coming, I did not get that email. And so then it was when I talked to Councilmember Vereen, she reached out to me and was like, is this something that y'all could provide? That was the last correspondence I had. And then it was middle of January, I think it was, that Ken reached back out to me.
In January, Councilmember Vereen reached out to you.
I remember I was coming back from Atlanta. I could probably go back to try to find that date. I just remember I was driving.
After that conversation, there was no more conversation until you talked with Kent.
Yes, he reached out to me on, it was a Friday, and then I came on that Monday. So it was sometime following y'all's council meeting. And he said he tried to reach out to me before, but I did not speak with him. I'd been traveling. I told him I apologize, but he let me know that y'all had, I guess, agreed to move forward with us helping. And I said, I apologize. I said, as soon as I can be there is Monday. And so I came here on that Monday.
So at no point did you ever contact the city yourself in X
No, sir.
to be a part of this?
No, sir.
Nor did GMA contact the city of government X?
Any other questions?
All right. Thank you very much, Emily, for bringing that information there, and thank you for everything that you do
Yes.
for our district
Absolutely.
and for all the cities that you serve.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. And I just say, my phone number is in there as well, so if anybody needs my contact information, email, or phone number is in there, so y'all just let me know how. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. We're going to move right along now to our next item, which is our discussion item. And our first discussion item is the Senior Citizen Program policy. And as you have been aware, and as the attorney have compiled this together, we do have a policy at hand, and it is the Senior Citizen Service and Agreement Program. And it is the program handbook policy and contractors agreement. It goes with the scope, the purpose of this program, the overview of it, as well as it gives us goals, intents, and their outcomes. It also gives the eligibility, and it also gives us the program services. And you have a format and a structure there in this policy. The program documents and agreements. You have staffing, oversight, and accountability, and also reporting and accountabilities with the stipend structures and roles there. And you also have it, the final page shows us our budget and resource allocated, which is the annual budget of $40,000. And it gives us the breakdown of this budget as well. And also our final thing in this policy is a termination and agreement. As you look at the policy, the attorney agreed to what she was going to do on last week, and she provided this policy handbook to us. So at this time, is there any questions or discussion on this?
Yes. To start, I'd like to offer amendments to this draft policy that we've received as of about 4 o'clock today. The first, we can turn to point number 3 in the overview. The very first is removing the language of all programs will be housed exclusively at the Camilla Depot. I've been changing that to most programs, keeping the same language, but not confining this program solely to the depot. I do like the fact that that is an option that we have available, but I do not like the confinement. And striking through that last paragraph in section 3, removing no off-site outings or pop-up events will be conducted. The second amendment will be in section 7, format and structure, striking through the language on city-owned and operated program, and also item C of non-local and regional events allowed, and adding the language of a consultancy opportunity, but keeping the language meets at least 3 times per month. The next amendment will be in section 9 on staffing and oversight. And again, as we had a discussion last week, very lengthy discussion, if we put in $18,000 for a part-time role, how much money does that leave for the actual program? So removing that position altogether and allowing those funds to be split between program supplies and meals, and contracting instructors and workshops. And I'll give it their additional feedback.
Any other additional comments or amendment to this particular policy has already been presented?
So his part number, that is I'm talking about HR, this is a contract,
Okay, any other discussion?
Ms. Ford, were you able to do the research on how much would it cost?
Yes, yeah, I got it. My recollection was close to $1,600.
And that is the price to onboard the new staff members?
Well, it was $16,450.
For, to hire a person.
So, we got some security medicating, but they're gonna have to have workers' comp and then payroll processing.
They will get a 10.
We're looking.
Okay, Mrs. Ford just provided this. This is coming from HR. A part-time employee is definitely is defined as less than 30 hours per week. This is no medical, dental, pension, disability, vacation, or sick leave. Salary would be
He said 15.
15,000.
But that's basically, that what you know, you got about 1,200 social security, 150 plus 950.
Okay, HR says 15,000, Social Security and Medicaid, $1,150. Workers' comp insurance, $150. Payroll processing is $150, which give us a total of $16,450. Okay, that's with hiring a person here.
So that would still stay under the 18,000 mark.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right, just want to share that information there with the council.
And Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, if I may,
Yes, go ahead, ma'am.
how many days a week, because I do have a consensus from council that you're okay with meeting, or you're okay with the program taking place 2 times a month, is that correct? Is that the correct consensus?
Well, I think in this policy here, you have 3 times a month.
I thought it was two.
Right, and
Yeah.
and as you know, as we were kind of collecting the information, I did put 3 in there from probably one of the proposals, but I have the finalized information that was being collected at 2 times a month. So are you all good with 2 times, or would you prefer to keep it at 3?
I think 2 is,
2 is fine. We get the consensus of this council.
I think it'll be easier to keep up with 2 if you set your dates like 1st and 3rd, or 2nd and 4th.
For who to keep up,
The people that are coming,
the people that are,
that would be attending.
for them to keep up,
Well, if you come like 1st and 3rd Thursday, or 2nd and 4th Thursday, but I think meeting twice a month, instead of 3 times a month is really what we had discussed last week.
This is just a schedule of when they're going to meet.
There would be a schedule, of
Yeah.
course, but,
And we're looking at twice.
Attorney Thompson, this is Councilmember Morgan, I just add, I did not complete the survey, for the record, because I wanted my voices to be heard, here tonight. And again, I don't like the confining language of that particular piece, because again, and just limiting to just 2 is just confining. So I like the language as it's presented, at least 3. That's currently presented as in the draft that we have.
I think the idea of the 2, and if you need a 3rd one, then you can always add that, but I think 2 is scheduled after the schedule, after the enough.
Okay, what we can do now, just to ease this, all council members that would like to see what was already printed the 3 times per month, just show of hands. We'll do, let's do a motion to, who all is in favor of having this program, exist 3 times a month. Let's see, show of hands.
So is this about to be the official action thing?
Yeah, well, we're gonna,
This isn't an action item tonight?
oh, yes, this is an action item. Well, this, policy is.
So then are we about to vote?
Yes, we got, what she's trying to do is trying to, make sure that we get the correct verbiage for us, the time that we meet, per month.
And then
Now, so I'm saying, as already in the policy, it shows that 3 times per month on a consistent schedule at the, Camilla Depot.
And again, I think that's the issue that is provided again to the Camilla Depot. But it's kind of a little contradicting as well, because in the format and structure, it says non-local or regional events hours are allowed. So that, for me, that speaks to, when you talk about outings, that is not non-local, that means it's far beyond the depot. So that's kind of contradicting, but I agree with that language that, and I doubt what Councilman Morgan said, that I don't think they should be confined to just the depot. Well, I just don't think we are in the best practice talking about as far as the city. And I would argue that this is a council move, that the council will be regulating and telling what goes on here in this senior citizen program, and I don't think that should be our place as council members. Saying what will be going taking place in this agreement. I think if we hire someone contractual, that we can get that program to them, and as long as they meet the requirements as been going, we go, just as it's been going.
Okay, Madam Attorney, did you have anything to say?
No, just that's one of the outstanding items. If you all want, field trips, if you will, or outside activities, or if everything's just gonna be taking place at the depot. And that needs to be, I need some clarification on that point as well.
Okay. All right,
So I'm saying we maybe need to table this until Madam Attorney can get this correct.
okay.
Ms. Thompson, I have a question.
Yes.
With a city-sponsored event, if we leave the premises, and we would be responsible for transportation, and if something were to happen, we would be responsible or liable in transporting these adults?
Did you say, would the city be responsible if anything happens?
Yes.
I'm
That would be my
still,
only question about transporting. If you go somewhere, that's kind of well, that's what my concern is.
right, so I mean, you know, if you all were to take, or if the senior citizens were to take, trips outside of the city, whether it be, non-local or even regional, you would probably have everyone sign, you know, some sort of waiver or, you know, some sort of form, really really demonstrating that they know there's a risk in traveling, and obviously the city cannot guarantee that traveling down the highway will prevent any and all accidents from ever happening, right? We would never say anything like that, but it would essentially be a permission slip of sorts, or a waiver of liability of sorts, in that if they're gonna take a trip with the city and we're, you know, taking proper due care in the ways that we, are supposed to take proper due care, that, they're taking on that risk with traveling with us. So again, we can't guarantee that no one will ever get harmed or hurt or in an accident or anything like that. But at the same time, the city will be protected and we'll make sure that we have, the proper documentation in place for each, traveling participant.
Thank you.
And as you see in this policy, the, transportation waiver is already there,
It's
so.
listed there. So we actually could change number 3 to most program activities. And then, as Mr. Morgan suggested, take off the no off-site outings. And then with most, that gives you the opportunity to do that if you so choose.
Okay.
Since we don't have to worry about the liability of transportation against the city. That's a suggestion.
All right, it sounds good to me. How do the other council members feel about it? We're making those changes?
So in number 3, it would read, most program activities will be housed exclusively at the Camilla Depot. And then, as he suggested, to remove that last sentence, no offsite.
And again, I don't think I heard the answer surrounding the transportation part.
Well, she said that
I
we
know
would not be
there was
liable
waivers,
if they
but
sign
as
a
far
waiver.
as transportation being given or provided itself, I never heard anyone speak on
We
what
didn't
would that
discuss
be.
that. I was talking about the liability issue.
So,
Council, when one is talking,
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so
please
sorry.
let them finish.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I apologize.
All right. Go ahead, Councilman Powell.
so again, if the city takes this on, that would mean that the city will be providing transportation as well. And are we ready to cover the transportation for in it and all, events that may take place that the city may need rides? Versus if we the city contract with someone, organization, a business, then we're contracting with that organization, business owner versus the city being direct over and having to, provide all these services itself. But we're actual contracting with the actual organization of business owner themselves, and they will be responsible for providing these things, which all these things will fall upon them, insurance and everything else that is provided, will be falling upon the contractual person or organization or business, and not the city itself.
Okay, so, City Manager Ford, if the city transport anybody, in the city, are we responsible? Do we have that type of insurance where we take care of them?
It would be my best guess if they're not a city employee, we would not be transporting non-city employees some type of way.
Wait, okay.
If you recall, so they were required to sign or at least liability.
So in other words-
They would take them on trips just for that level of service, so this committee would kind of do the same thing.
And this is in the policy as it speaks, signing that transportation waiver.
That's our standard procedure. I mean, you don't do that pretty much unless you have on a fancy bus that already has all that covered. That's part of their service. Their home.
Business organization.
Councilman Morgan, sir.
To Councilman Pollard's point, I think the edits that I suggested, and I know we were working our way to it and just worked through, but the edit in 7, kind of removing the language of being a city owned and operated could help with that, and adding that piece of providing consulting opportunity. I think that will clear us with any liabilities along with these waivers that we use. And that is for just mentioning we use in our youth council program.
Then I go back and I think about the youth program is still a city owned program. And we do the waivers on that, so just think of that as well.
In item 7, part B, I think, we didn't ever really finish that, but I think if that was changed to a minimum of 2. Because we didn't really talk about, we didn't ever decide 2 or 3. But, that might fix that.
Need to amend the, as well, where it says, depot, if we're amending 3, we have to amend 7 deep.
Oh, gotcha. So that would be the amendment of 2 times per month on a consistent schedule.
Wherever they meet, it should be a city-owned building. Just for, to me, that's where it's a city functioning, city building.
And I think that that's this would just be on special occasions if there was an outing, if there was something.
Well, on an outing,
Right.
that speaks for itself.
And it seems like we have a consensus of council to leave that as an option and not confine it to just that.
I think so.
Mhm.
But I'd rather leave the depot in there, and then if there's something else.
Oh, the meetings, when you say the regular meetings,
And then
okay.
if another location was, Christian, then I think the city should say yes or no.
And when you say meetings, what do y'all define as meeting? What is entailed in y'all meetings? When you say,
The meeting, I would think, Mr. Fuller, would be the gathering, they gather.
gather
Or treasurer.
to discuss or to do what?
No, not a meeting like we are having.
That's what it makes it sound like when you say meeting, that we gotta be confined to this area, that meetings gotta happen here. So I'm just trying to make clear that what it is.
I mean, a meeting would be when they gather.
Can we have quietness in the gallery, please? Thank you. Go ahead, Councilman Pollock.
No, I'm done.
Councilman Perrine, you go
Oh,
ahead.
no, I was just answering the question he asked. I would think the meeting time would be when they gather, not like a meeting with an agenda, but a meeting for a fun time. Or whatever the program happens to be that day.
Okay. Now with the amendment of the things that we want to change, to move this policy into becoming a policy and have the attorney to go ahead and draft and put those things in there that needs to be in there. Do we have the consensus of everyone on this council to move this forward with the amendments that have already been discussed? Okay. All right, so now we're gonna run through them one more time. You can go
Let
ahead.
me tell you what I got.
Okay, go ahead.
Item number 3 on the overview, we're gonna take and say for the second sentence that most program activities will be housed exclusively at the Camilla Depot.
Okay, go ahead. That's great.
And then we completely delete the last sentence.
All site. Okay.
And then on number 7,
That is on the format instruction.
so number 8, I heard, conversation about consultant opportunities versus city-owned and city-operated programs.
Correct.
So that's what's gonna be under consideration in the motion is
Yes.
it gonna be city-owned and city-operated along with consultant opportunities?
Yes, let's put that in there. City owned, because it is our program.
Right, okay. And then, for item number D,
We haven't decided that.
I wrote down minimum 2 times.
I mean, that was a suggestion. I don't know if everybody agrees with that.
I'm okay with 2 times.
I can agree with minimum.
Yeah, minimum of 2, exceed 3.
Minimum 2, not to exceed 3.
Yeah, not to exceed 3.
And then, so, needs a minimum of 2 times not to exceed exceed 3 times on a consistent schedule at the Camilla Depot, but it was said to leave that as optional where the meeting would be held.
And I think that ties to the council member Pollard's point on like this meeting, because they're going to, I think they're going to call it program, that should help as well, or because they're doing more than just meeting. There are actual activities and programs that are planned.
There's someone there that have posted on maybe screening on.
Could we just leave that optional to where have the depot there, but optional areas?
I think the depot should be in there. It's a city-owned facility, and that should be designated as the meeting place. Unless there's
Yeah,
something
another
else.
I have a solution that may work for that. If we said, meet a minimum of 2 times per month on a consistent schedule, period. Most meetings will be at the community depot.
Programming, most programs.
Most programs, instead of using me, most programs will be held. And that leaves you open if you wanted to go, as we already talked about.
I would say most at, a city-owned building, because we have more than Camilla Depot, we have a brand new resource center that can be utilized as well too. So I wouldn't just necessarily, again, confine to Camilla Depot,
The city-owned building,
city-owned building.
Okay, so most meetings will be at city-owned facilities,
Most programs.
most programs. Okay, is everybody okay with that?
No, I'd rather the city depot and other city buildings in Memphis.
We got 2 options. But it sounds like the consensus is most.
okay, that would-
Most.
so you changed the first word.
All right, so it's just meets a minimum of 2 times per month on a consistent schedule, period.
But we had not to exceed 3. to make sure.
Right, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't put that in, I'm sorry, right. Most programs will be at the Camilla Depot or other city properties. And I think Mr. Morgan worded it better than I did, city-owned facilities.
Mhm. Okay, that'll work.
Ms. Ford, do you mind just rereading that last?
Okay, so we're on item number B.
Yes.
Meets a minimum of 2 times, not to exceed 3 on a consistent schedule. I think we can put a period there to start this sentence. Most programs will be held at the Camilla Depot or other city-owned facility.
I think that's feasible.
I think so.
Okay. All right, on the next one. That's it? Okay, council, just hearing, the amendments to this particular policy, could I get a motion for the attorney to make?
Before we do that motion, though, what did we decide on staff structure of roles and budget breakdown? I have listed that as an amendment option as well. We had an optional.
Yeah, it has an optional of, a part-time person or a contractor. Yeah, it's already in this policy.
So we're on item number 10.
9.
Yeah, you have both in there. And as I stated earlier, the part-time individual, that salary will be $16,450 if we hire someone part-time to do that. And then the contractor, it varies from what is done.
Okay, so is this in there?
Well, that's the total cost.
Cost, yeah, the total cost for
Because-
kids, the HR director gave us.
So is the base, I mean, is the salary? This one.
This is.
That's what we'll pay for, and then in addition to the additional costs. See, can't they stand 15, I think that's gonna be
We'll adjust it.
All right, can you tell me one more time?
Gotcha. You're up on nine. Or
10.
So, in my proposal, I strict approved the program coordinator altogether. And move those funds, to just kind of go through the rest of the budget. But if we have the language at the beginning, listing this as optional courses.
Mhm.
And I think that may need to be reflected in the budget right now.
So are you advocating for the program, for it to be a program coordinator or contractor?
Yes.
So that starts with item number 9, where it talks about the staffing structure and roles, where it talks about the program coordinator and or contractor.
Correct.
And how will that decision ultimately be made?
Is that city manager?
Say that again, Madam Attorney.
I'm sorry, did you hear me, sir?
No, I didn't. Go ahead and say that again now.
I was saying, how will the decision ultimately made between whether it's a contractor or an employee?
Is that a city manager discretion decision?
It would be a city manager if we have to go with, staffing.
Mhm.
It would definitely be a city manager.
And then go with the council if it has to be a
If
contractor.
they have to be a contract, staff would be, council from those decisions.
Yeah, city manager will make that call for staffing, and the council will make that call for, contractors.
And are you talking about the program coordinator position?
Yes, the contractor, yeah, program coordinator.
Okay, so, once this is passed, then, and I'm sorry, maybe I'm missing that point. Once this is passed, who will decide whether it's going to be a contractor or employee?
And once again, Madam Attorney, that will be left up to our, city manager to make that call. If that's the route she want to go with an employee, she will make that call, and if she decides she want to contract it out, the council will be able to do that.
Okay, I understand.
Thank you. All right, any other, discussion on this? All right. With all of the amendments of everything in this policy, could I get a motion to approve this policy, on the, attorney, amending all of the policies that we put into this, policy? Could I get a motion to approve this?
Motion to approve?
All right, it has been motioned and second. All those in favor, show of hands. All those opposed, same sign. All right, that motion has been carried. Thank you, council. Moving along on our agenda for tonight, there is a proclamation of Black History Month in recognition of Black History Month 2026. The council recommended approving the proclamation honoring local and national contributions of African American and proclaiming the month of February as Black History Month in Camilla. The theme for the 2026, A Century of Black History commemoration, marks 100 years of focusing national celebration of African American history and cultural, focusing on relentless identity and ongoing impact. The theme honored the establishment of Black History Month and explore how it observes as shaping, understanding, fostering pride, and driven process in equality and social justice. Could we get a motion to approve this proclamation?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, it has been motion and second. Before we vote on it, I would like to read the actual proclamation into our minutes for tonight. Right. Okay, proclamation of the city of Camilla. It says, whereas Black History Month is an annual celebration of achievement by African Americans and a time for recognizing their central role in the U.S. history. And whereas the City of Camilla Council take pride in joining Americans throughout the country in recognizing February 2026 as Black History Month. And whereas the 2026 Black History Month theme, the Century of Black History Commemoration, marks the 100th anniversary of the celebration founded by Dr. Carter G. Woolson in 1926. This theme highlights the evolution of Black history, promoting, protecting, and preserving the legacy of American history and its impact on the modern world. And whereas to preserve and protect the legacy of African American, a time such should be set aside to focus on and reflect on lifetime triumph and achievement of great leaders, educators, scholars, investors, politicians, writers, artists, and citizens. And whereas we uplift our Black community leaders, educators, business owners, professionals, and all others who promote well-being and knowledge throughout the many facets of the Black community as part of our whole equivalent community. And whereas the City of Camilla continue its work and dedication toward becoming an inclusive community in which all citizens, past, present, and future, and respect and recognize for their contribution and potential contribution to our community, our state, and our country. Now, therefore, the City of Camilla, Georgia, does hereby proclaim the month of February 2026 as Black History Month in Camilla, Georgia, and encourage all citizens to expand their knowledge of history, culture, legacy, struggle, and achievement of African American, and observe this month with appropriate programs, activities, and ceremonies that foster awareness and appreciation of African American contribution. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand on the seal and cause the seal of the City of Camilla of Georgia to be affixed this 9th day of February in the year our Lord 2026. Mayor Pro Tem Dwayne Burley, City of Camilla. And thank you for that, Council. And at this time, Councilman Morgan.
Thank you for the time, for the proclamation. I think to add to that piece, just really want to challenge our community to invest in support in our Black-owned businesses in this community. I do point back to maybe 2 years ago, this council, and I do believe it was through the use of ARPA funds at the time, we were able to provide some small business grant opportunities to our minority-owned businesses. And in the near future, I do look to this council and hope that we can continue to invest in our businesses in that manner. And then also, it was brought to my attention, one of our newest Black-owned businesses in the community will also be celebrating 10 years of just service and having products available to this community. And that would be Brother Nature. I do think something will be happening later this week or next week. So just encourage our community to support in this council as well through future legislation and policy.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Morgan. It has been motion and second. No other discussion at this time. Could I get a motion? Could I get a hand vote of that approve this proclamation? All right. All those opposed, same sign. All right, that motion has been carried. All right, moving to our next action item for tonight is a trade confirmation with Municipal Gas Authority of Georgia, Alltech, February to December 2026. The council received 3 requests for Alltech and the Municipal Gas Authority of Georgia to enter into agreement to elect alternative prices for natural gas. The elections to choose an alternate price is pursuant to the gas supply contract between MEAG and the city and does not alter or supersede the gas supply contract. The agreement period for the 3 requests is February 2026 through December 2026. The council recommends to approve and to execute this agreement and request authorization for the mayor pro tem to sign. Could I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It has been motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, show of hands. All those opposed, same sign. That motion has been carried. Thank you, council. Moving on into our agenda for tonight, Amelia chapter number 14, adopt a street request. Amelia chapter number 14, the Order of Eastern Star, has submitted a request to adopt the following areas to maintain through regular cleanup effort and beautification initiative in North Horny Street between Oakland and Beacon Street. The council recommend the approval of this request to initiate coordination by the city staff to ensure compliance with the program required and safety guidance. And as you noticed tonight, council, the attorney has did their due diligence to give us something for as a policy to adopt, and you may see it on your dais tonight. And before all of this is taking place, we have 5 steps, and the steps are they must submit and adopt a street application and waiver to the city manager. And also the next step should be where the council review the request and approve the street or segment, and also receive safety supplies, which is vest, gloves, and garbage bags, litter bags. Number 4 is the city should provide recognition signage and the community acknowledge. And the last step there is to perform routine cleanup and beautification at least once a year. So with this request, we know that they have requested this. And at this time, council, I would recommend that first of all, Amelia chapter go back and go through this policy. But what I want to do first of all, I want to adopt the policy because there was some discussion on last week about what policy do we have for the city and individuals adopting the streets. And therefore, the attorney looked into it, and therefore we came up with a policy. But first of all, I would like to adopt this policy for the city of Camilla. And at this time, I'm going to open it up to the floor for any discussion as far as adopting this policy.
What the policy provided for?
Yes, it's right here.
This is policy.
Yes, that's the adopt a street policy. And the attorney, Madam Attorney, could you kind of refer to this? Have any comments on this to give us a little more enlightenment on this?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Yes, I mean, you definitely explained it perfectly. There's an opportunity for organizations within the community to adopt a street, and if they follow these 5 steps, they essentially will have the opportunity to continue beautification efforts for that particular street and spot for a year. So it's, again, this is a proposal. If council wants to change certain parts of it, they can, but this is just proposed language.
Go ahead, Councilman Murray.
I would like to propose 2 changes. The first is just, we don't have a deputy city manager, so step one would just say city manager. And then in the bottom, left side cloud, where it says cost of sign will be reimbursed by the group, I think that we could not ask them to pay for the sign. Maybe the city could provide the sign, I don't know how expensive they are. You know that?
This is gonna be a custom sign. This will be about possibly $100 a sign.
If they're willing to.
The standard street sign will get a reduced rate, they're about $25.
I mean, what are your thoughts on providing the signage and not asking them to pay for it?
I think it would be nice for the city to, pay for the sign. Yeah, and we can get some type of reduced cost.
So they would just take out the word deputy and take out the cost of the sign. That's just.
Service.
Plus, it gives us the ability to make sure they're all consistent, and we have additional volunteers come in and say, hey, we want to adopt one, we want a bunch of different adoption signs.
Right.
It needs to provide, whatever state zones, if it's a state highway, whatever, you got to supply.
It's gotta be a larger sign,
Exactly.
based on speed limit.
All right, with those changes there, any other changes on that, on this policy? Okay. Could I get a motion to approve this, policy with the necessary corrections here?
That's the question before we go there. As far as the application wise, is this a document that we already have within inside the city? Or this will be a document that will have to be explored and made? Because I don't know if we don't have a policy, I'm very sure we don't have applications, already done for this particular.
Yeah, I mean, I can do one in-house if you want to standardize, we can have, they submitted a written request.
I know they submitted one.
We
Just,
can actually,
So we could change that to submit a written request instead of the application, perhaps.
But we want to keep accountability as well now.
I would just hope that this document, of a, policy is not in the form of a, slideshow, but
No, this is just a format that she presented, but, it will be well, prepared as a document for the city. Okay. Any other discussions? All right, could I get a motion to, approve this document with the necessary corrections and changes there?
is that inclusive of having an application?
Yes, and yeah, with having this application, and as our city manager stated, that she can get that drafted up.
Motion to approve.
So,
All right, it has been motion and second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, show of hands. All those opposed, same sign. All right, that motion has been carried. Thank you, council. Now, going back now to, the applicant, to this request. We know that, Amelia Chaplin has, given us a request. So what we need to do is we need to go ahead and get the application so that they could, have this taken care of, and we can go ahead and adopt this street for them. Okay, so we will, revisit this topic here, okay? All right. All right, moving on our agenda for tonight, we have, number 5, selection of 2026 Community Development Block Grant consultants. The city received 4 proposals for an engineer consultant for the lead service line community development block grants project. The staff graded the proposal and recommended that Stillwater Engineer be selected as the engineer firm for the project. The city received 7 proposals for a grant administration for the local service line community development block grant project, and staff graded the proposal and recommend Sunbelt Consultant be selected as grant administrator for this project. Could I get a motion to approve these consultants and proposals?
so moved.
it has been motion and second. Any other discussions?
Ms. Ford, just a quick inquiry on the, difference between the two, was it the lower candidate amount or the reason we selected or
We
proposed
have a
Sunbelt?
grading criteria that is provided to us by DCA, and we go through their proposals, and based on what they tell us, we grade them. It's what, 1 time, still 1
And I know from my knowledge, we have consistently used the orders over the last few years.
We have, and then last time the CDBG come in, when we graded those, Hayes Hospital Associates scored higher than Chad did, so that's how he came in the picture. And Chad, I mean, to be honest with you, Chad scored higher this time because Chad did the service line inventory for us, and he's doing service line project for us, so that kind of gave him additional points, having that level of being familiar with the inventory.
Gotcha. So, and if I heard correct, the current proposal is to go with Sunbelt instead of Stewart.
No, some of they're the grants, and that particular firm has worked with Chad on service line inventory writing grants, so.
So in other words, they're gonna be partnering together.
So you got engineer, you got 2 separate consultants here, you got the engineer, and then you got the grant.
Correct, that's right. And Chad presented last week as well about that, so this is just to get approval. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor, show of hands. All those opposed, same sign. All right, that motion has been carried. All right, moving to item number 6, procurement policy for expenditures of federal funding. Now, in according with the new rules of the uniform guidance, which is 2 CFR Part 200, Subpart D, which continuous rules pertaining to federal award, the council recommend approving the city of Camilla's procurement policy for the expenditures of federal awards to ensure the proper use of federal funds, promoted competitive transparency and cost effective while complying with federal, state, and local laws. The policy will be incorporated and made a part of the city's purchasing policy and procedures date August 15, 2018. Could we get a motion to approve that?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, it has been motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, show of hands. All those opposed, same sign. All right, that motion has been carried. Thank you, council. Now, moving to action item number 7, is the gym project, change order number 1, and hope that all of you all got a chance to reach your email. That information was put into your email. We're going to have our city manager to kind of elaborate on that project.
So when the project engineer, which is Morgan Associates, submitted the plans to the state fire marshal's office, they came back and required additional work to be in compliance, which is represented in change order number 1 in the amount of $31,289. So according to them, they get the new contract amount is $5,193,289. Let's see, it's just some upgrades to the fire line, the back door, pump room. And that bond issue was, it brought it to 5.1 and it was $155,000. So it's gonna be a little bit over the initial bond issue, so I mean, we could use lost funds.
And that's what, 31,000?
The total change order is $31,289.46. And she also said it's gonna add an additional 90 days to the current calendar, so the expected completion date is December 30th, which is at the end of the year.
All right. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. To approve that, could I get a motion to approve these new order of change for the gymnasium project?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, it's had been motion and second. Discussion. All those in favor, show of hands. All those opposed, same sign. All right, that motion has been, carried. Thank you, council. All right, our final action item for tonight is, PCA adjustment. And, Councilman, Vereen, this is your item. I'm turning it over to you.
I had the pleasure of speaking to Mr. Cho, and I cannot pronounce his last name, but I believe it's Nguyen, Ngyen, with Electrical Cities of Georgia. And he is familiar with our staff at City Hall. PCA, or the Power Cost Adjustment, is a method used to cover the cost of power that each city has to purchase. Mr. Cho said it is best practices to monitor and change this PCA value twice per year. I went back through city council minutes, and the last, it was July of 2023, when this July 17th of 2023, the council changed the PCA, and in the discussion of that meeting, it said they would revisit it in October. But after further discussion, it was decided to let it remain until the end of the year, and that they would revisit it. But it has not been revisited since 10/9/23. In that same discussion, and I highlight this, it was stated that proceeds from the electric fund are a primary source of funds for the general fund. Again, proceeds from the electric fund are the primary source of funds for the general fund. So I am hoping that we can protect our funds, and in doing so, rather than raising the power rates, we are able to adjust the PCA. So it is my motion to return the PCA to its previous position of 0.0065.
Councilman, did you, what was the amount that we adjusted it to?
On July 17th, 2023, it was changed from 0.0065 to 0.0035.
And you are aware that by adjusting this to its original rate, or any adjustments moving up or down, although it's not a utility rate increase, people's ratepayers' bills will also increase?
And I have that amount from Mr. Cho as well.
But you're confirming that their bill will either increase or decrease?
Correct.
And then also confirming you do not pay the utility bills and then electric bills. And you're talking about raising rates.
Do you pay property tax, but you had no problem in setting the millage rate?
We're talking about the utility rate.
But it is the exact same thing. If you, since 2020, members have sat at this table and set property tax rates.
And I haven't
And
voted
don't-
to increase the.
Could you let her finish her statement? before we-
So there is, I mean, I can't control where my utilities come from.
But you can. You can actually make file paperwork and have that change over. And to your point,
And
I
I was
also
aware of
have not
that.
voted.
Ms. Vereen, let her talk, please.
I voted to.
It is.
Councilman Vereen.
Property taxes in this community. Whereas you are now opting and calling forth the motion to raise people's utility bills from last month, you and other members across this council failed to vote in confidence and support measures to reduce people's utility bill during a cycle where they have actually been running heat in all things at an extreme time high because of false reporting by members of this council. And now you're asking to raise their utility bill.
There has been no false reporting by a member of this council.
I beg you to go back and review that meeting. False report from Councilman Paul.
I presented a report from the Electrical Cities of Georgia, which advised the city on rates. I I'm presenting not a rate adjustment, I'm presenting an adjustment to the PCA, which the council has done. And it is my proposal to return it to the previous position of July 2023, which is .0065. I'd like to add that the professionals at ECG, actually, he said that it would be in our best interest to raise it to double that, but I'm not proposing that. I'm just reiterating what Mr. Cho recommended. Not to raise it where he thinks it needs to be, but to where it was in July of 2023. And also, he said that it would make the difference of approximately $3 per month on electric bills.
I think, my comment to the public, please understand who ECG is. In layman's terms, ECG is like a contractor you would consult with to provide some type of work on your community, on your home, on anything you own. You do not have to take those recommendations. You can find other consultants to guide your decision to do a thing. ECG also lobbies and work very closely with the people that we pay to, MEAG and Georgia Power. So, of course, they are motioning for us to increase this number because at the end of the day, they all function around these dollars as well. So I think it's very important that the community have that knowledge, that you understand who ECG is, who the electric cities of Georgia is, and who they work for and support at the end of the day.
We as a city choose to be a member of ECG. We pay dues to ECG. We depend on their recommendations to guide us in the right path for our electric costs. And I might add that they were exactly correct in their predictions in May of '24. Everything they said that would happen has happened, and I gave those values out last week. So again, without any other discussion, I'm making a motion to adjust the PCA or power cost adjustment to its previous position of .0065.
I'll second that motion.
And I offer the first substitute motion to keep the PCA rate at the same, which is .0035. And I'm seeking a second for that.
Oh, I would definitely second.
Okay, we're gonna deal with the last motion, with the keeping the PC, a rate there at 0035.
And again, for discussion in this period, I want folks to be very clear that any adjustments to this rate, although members across this dais are saying that they are not increasing a utility rate, if this PCA rate is changed, you will expect a higher bill next month.
Of $3.
The rate increase.
And that's the proxy.
Okay, it has been motioned and it has been second. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor, show of hands.
And just for a discussion,
So discussion is not over with.
excuse me,
I said we was about to vote.
yeah, I got this, I want to discuss this.
Okay, I'll allow you to discuss.
Again, another headline. Members pretend that there is no lies, that they are genuine about taxes and the city of Camilla and its residents, and that, you know, the best interest. And I say to you again, just last month when we were sitting here discussing about SNAP and providing a $50 voucher for SNAP for benefits for people that receive SNAPs, that could not afford to, for whatever reason, get food on their table. Children going to bed hungry every night. But yet, disingenuously, when I don't have to pay utility rates here in the city of Camilla, but yet I'm gonna propose a rate change. Again, please do not get mistaken. PCA is essentially a rate change in your utility. But the lies continues again. In some local paper, it says that prior to Monday night, last Monday night, that there was only 2 people that heard about the recommendation of the ECG that ECG brought forward, and that was Dennis Riles and Mel Owens. Nobody ever never heard about it until Councilmember Vereen brought it to the table. Another lie. Another lie that was told from members around this table. Then another headline, as you can see in the paper, Vereen urges council to review our utility rate, but we ain't chasing headlines. I took it upon myself and put in a request and asked city manager to look into some things. Had this not been brought before the council by Mayor Owens, or ECG, anybody's around that, I have to tell you, it was a lie. A straight lie that was told to you to manipulate you in this paper. Mayor Owens, on May 6, 2024, at 10:07 a.m., to Councilman Morgan, Councilman Pollard, Councilman Burley, Councilman Collins, and Councilman Palmer. Hi, council member. I hope all is well. Please see the attached update slides from ECG, specifically regarding comments about growth and the MCT funds. Goes on, May 1st, 2024, someone from ECG by the name of Sarah Leonard, she emailed, "Good afternoon, here are the update slides as discussed this morning. Also, please provide quarterly electric financial reports so that we can keep the power cost adjustment module up to date for FY 2024. Please provide the latest quarterly report, including year-to-date information." Lies that continue to scramble around this desk is unbelievable. But when do we get to the point of truth? Again, this is serious business, and for people to make accusations or say things such as, I can sit at home, I don't need this. But sit here and propose that we increase the PCA, the rates of everyday citizen that is already struggling. But yet we have heard from our city manager that we don't struggle here in Camilla to pay our bills. We have not struggled to pay our bills. We're not struggling. And we get a rebate from electric every year, somewhere almost around $1 million. Guess what? Who money is that? That is ratepayers' money. You paid it. That's how much you paid over. And then we turn around and we sell some of that to other cities that cannot. They need some help. But we sell it back to them and gain revenue from that. So while we're hurting it, that we need to raise the PCA. And I remind you, when we talk about PCA, at one point the PCA was definitely controlled by the city manager. The city manager could make those PCA rates without even telling the council. It was happening. And to this council said no more. We would no longer allow that. The PCA was being changed by the city manager at his discretion. His or her discretion. And the council did not have to be informed. But we changed it. Because we realized that that is not the way to govern this city and its people. We can do better. So essentially what she was talking about, Councilwoman Vereen, is hear us talk about raising your rates. Detrimental. If we are already struggling, if we already talking about dilapidated buildings, if we already talking about trouble, crimes, to add more to the household that they do not have. You just cannot do it. If they don't have it, how can they get it? So I hope that it sits well with someone so to say that I'm gonna raise your rates and I don't pay those rates. I don't have to worry about paying those rates, but I don't have a problem raising those rates for you either. Because we don't want to do the work to grow the city. And that is just by doing exactly what just happened. Opening up new business. But that is a rate increase for new businesses just coming to the city. I hear that. Let's stop the lines.
Mr. Mayor, Electric Cities of Georgia is a professional organization that we pay dues to members of. All the MEAG cities, as far as I know, are members of ECG. And they work with them on their power cost adjustments and their rates. And to ignore the recommendations from these professionals who do this every day for a living is what I call poor planning and poor management, is sticking your head in the sand. And to not put this back the way it was. We're not talking about doubling it like it's been recommended. We're talking about going back. This is 3 years that it's been sitting here and nothing has been done. We have not heard one thing about what the rates are, what we should be doing and should not be doing. But if we do not follow this recommendation, you know, we're headed to some rough waters if we don't make some changes.
Okay. What is the, let Councilman, Morgan go.
Absolutely, happy, because we were on the same lenses, and the councilman just stated, we haven't heard any rates or recommendations from folks, but we're still trying to, provide an increase here. That just doesn't make sense. So what is the purpose of truly increasing this? And then to the second piece, just for folks in the community, don't ever let members of this community try to outclass you about how much property taxes you may or may not be paying. Because the last time I checked, this city's budget is 2% or less comprised of property taxes. And everybody in this community pays a utility bill, which is 52% of this revenue. And this is, again, a number that a member of this council is not contributing to, and is also agreeing to increase that.
Okay, Councilman Lorraine.
Our electric funds went from $7.2 million to $92,000 over this time period. ECG said the money would run out if we didn't make changes. And it's gone from 7 million to 92,000, and I think they were spot on. And while the money may not be out now, it's getting there. I don't know if you all received the email with the projected power costs for the next year. But at our next meeting, Mr. Brown will be coming to explain that. But from what I read, our costs are $12 million a year, a little over that. It's not some made up thing, it is the recommendation of professionals that we had, the accountant sat right there and said it. The ECG report has said it, the bank account is showing it. And while we may not be broke right now, like you're saying, but we're running out of reserves. I yield.
And, as I go back and I did some research as well, Councilman Pollard, when you brought that back up with the chart from ECG, the scenarios. You had scenario number 1, you had scenario number 2. And if you go back and look at that scenario number 1, without us raising our rates, keeping it the same, it was under the impression that we had 80 houses on that grid plus 300 additional apartments. We don't have either or. We don't have 80 houses nor 300 apartments. That would be a total of 380 people, more people on the grid by what we already have. And I read the report as well. I read the report of the conference line and what the professionals, and we are not professionals. I don't proclaim to be professional. Yes, we voted to allow the city manager to adjust that under the consideration of this council voting to approve that PCA. We had an input. So according to what was put out there and what the professionals state, it don't look well. If you look at the second scenario of what they put their rate cost, which was 5.5%. And if we go back and we look at what Mitchell EMC and Georgia Power did, they did a 40% increase with Mitchell EMC. Georgia Power did what, right between 19 to 21% increase on their power. But the experts recommended 5.5% back in 2024 for us to be in line. So looking at those and looking at where we are today, it speaks some volumes. And it's not necessarily where you're saying that we're going to raise the rates. It's just something that I think that we need to consider.
So again, I'm gonna say that we as the council did not vote to give that to the mayor, number 1. We did not vote to give him that power. We took that power away from him. Number 2, to change the PCA, we took that away. Number 2, sir, if we did our due diligence, we did not also have 3 new businesses that was on that grid, retail stores, and we have as well that have been also added. So that was not on the report either. So if we did our due diligence as well as you say you did, and to make this adjustment, to back up something that you believe, that is again disingenuous and not true, because that is not what happened. And I never seen no one say in that statement that we should raise rates. There was nowhere in there saying that we should raise rates.
It was recommended.
It was not recommended where?
And also,
Where in the right wasn't recommended that we raise rates?
also, listen to what you said, that we gained businesses, but look at the business that we don't lost. That's not.
That we lost. What are the business that we did lose?
Oh, we lost Burger King.
We lost?
Yeah, we lost. They're not on the grid.
We lost.
Yeah, we lost them. Burger King, you got Marvin's, you got Walgreens, and you got several others that is no longer here. That
What are
was
those
once
several
here.
others?
Well, once here on the grid during the time that this report was sent out.
Again, what are those several others?
We have plenty more in the city limits. We're not producing like that.
And we surely not producing like that.
Go ahead,
It's
Councilman.
producing when we continue to see them happening,
On the
despite
email,
what you're saying.
Okay, go ahead,
the
Frank.
email that you referenced.
Oh, I didn't look at email.
Could you give her the floor? She has the floor
Email
now.
that was sent on, let me go back to the date, but there are slides that were given.
Oh, that was slides, yes.
And if you look at the second slide, it gives you a rate projection, and it says without that, then it does say you'll need to raise your rates 21.2%. And it's also
If
right
what,
here. But again, now the scenario with just the funds, where it says we're gonna run out, is not given in that particular email. But the other one is given, and if you look at column, it lists the percentage of increase, all right? And in the scenario, you've got a 5.5% increase, a 5.5% increase, a 5.5% across the board. It's row 3. In the second one, there's no increase, and then it says in 2026, you're gonna need to raise your rates 21.1% to break even. That slide is given. The 5.5% one is not given in that email. I've got a copy of it that I'm looking at right here. So it does suggest a rate increase. Both scenarios do suggest that. One is at 5.5% a year. The other one is nothing, and then bam, 21.5.
given that you don't do anything, that you don't make investment, that there is no new business coming, that you just sit back and allow these things to happen and not grow the grid. Surely. But see, I can see that that's the reason why you want to raise them, because you don't want to do anything, or you don't have the vision to do anything besides just sit back and allow these things to happen. And that's why it's so easy for us to just sit here and say, raise the PCA. Raise the rate. It's so easy for you to say that besides doing the work. It's easy for that to be said. And that is exactly what is taking place here, lies. And so I thank you for just confirming that you knew this, despite the lies that was told in the paper. You already knew this. You knew that this was seen and brought to this council. You knew these lies existed. But yet we tell the paper these lies, and we put it out there for to manipulate our people. But you're playing with people's lives as well too with these lies. See, that's the type of things that are happening around this table with some people. This ain't new. They're still playing games with you. It's so easy to sit back and not do anything, but to just raise rates. That's easy. And I would suggest that some of the reason why is because there's a silver spoon. See, some pay it out of a silver spoon. They don't need to raise. We can afford it. But then I think we reviewed those SNAP programs and who would benefit. Don't think you just heard in one. It affects a lot of people. So raise the rates if that's what you feel you need to do. But primarily, I know where I live, and the district I represent. I know some kids going to bed hungry. I know they're public housing. And so maybe it's okay with some, but it's not okay with me. Well, we don't need to. we get nearly a whole million back every year from utility rates.
Okay, all right.
I have a final comment.
Final discussion.
On the notion where Councilman Pollard just mentioned the things that we don't need to do, I think it's important that perspective remains given on this electric fund that is being discussed, and that we really know what vantage point we're making policy and decisions off of. And this question will be turned to Councilwoman Marine, but this electric fund that you have spoke on tonight in this discussion, can you confirm that this is the municipal electric trust account? You pointed out electric fund, 7 million that has been depleted. That has been the MCT, correct?
I'll have to look at the numbers that I have.
Okay. While she continues, this is for the MCT, again, which is not directly responsible for anything that we owe to be at. That comes first and primarily from the 2,000 plus ratepayers that we have in this community.
Okay, if you go back, the generation account, which is specifically designed to pay the MEAC bill, currently has not, or as of January 5th, had $92,049.37. And if you look back over the years, there was a time when this account had over $13 million in it. Now, not since I have been involved. On that same day in January, the flexible account had $2,812,555. And I know that you all were here long before I was, when both of these accounts had considerably more money in them.
And so the councilwoman just confirmed what I stated, was that this is the investment accounts, and not a general fund account that we use to primarily pay your utility bills. So that perspective has to be crystal clear when we're making those decisions. I hate for this body to conflate the two. Second, to the Mayor Pro Tem's point of bringing up the comparison of businesses lost and gained, we do recognize that we are comparing commercial to residential in this case, where our residential ratepayers strongly outweigh the amount of commercial ratepayers that we do have in this community. Again, I don't believe that is a sincere point to start that argument. And it seems to me that we're also forgetting the housing development that is still on board, albeit it was delayed. We cannot forget that we do have more grid use coming along. I think a lot of that delay has had a lot to do with what has happened in this room and externally, when we have folks really trying to play in the mud of what we have going on and growing this community. And outside investors do pay attention to that. And so that has, in my opinion, been a part of that delay in that housing project. But we have received communication that housing project is continuing to progress along this road. So all of these things, again, must be in perspective. I think we heard a mention of a reserve account. The city of Camilla does not have any policy on our books about hosting a reserve account. We had never had it. Never had it before 2021 when this council changed. There was a time, again, that we mentioned in the last meeting where a member of this council voted to split that account. And by splitting it, that created a flexible opportunity for this city to spend some of that money that it has stored up in its reserve account for utilities and surplus. So again, my point in saying all of this is for this body to be crystal clear of where we stand in the perspectives here on this vote. And that will put it to good use for those that we represent.
All right, last discussion on this.
All right, as a point of clarification, over half of the money that's paid for utilities in this town are paid by commercial ratepayers. Their rate is higher than residential ratepayers. So what has been said here is not the truth. That it's been projected or portrayed that the residential people, customers are going to be paying all of this increase. That's not the fact. The commercial payers will be paying more than half of the raised in the city of Camilla.
I don't think that
All
was
right.
pretty much, I don't think no one said that they wouldn't give a rate change for commercial as well as there would be residential. I think we exactly said that. If you change the rate, PCA, then we know it's not all affect just residential, but commercial as well too. Can't do one without the other. Self-explanatory, I would think. But again, as Councilman Morgan just stated out, we just heard last week about the Neat Trust. And it was you, Councilman Palmer, who you seconded the motion to change it to flexible. And again, we talk about flexible. And again, I will make this certainly that we make no mistake about building a resource center for a molded building that our kids were playing in. We make not one apology for doing just those things. When you talk about spending, yeah, we invested because we had the money to do so. A resource center that is paid for, fully paid for, cash. Didn't have to get a loan for it. A brand new gym that is coming along. Spots, taking care of it. We're talking about the quality of life, and you're sitting there trying to compare the quality of life to just sitting back holding for a rainy day fund? What is the rainy day for? Some will call reserve, but we never had a reserve here in the city of Cabela. And the surplus, it's like 1.6 million that we have now locally in the bank. Let's make sure it's right. Not 92.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and, get that vote for the, entertain that motion for the PCA to stay at 0035. It has been motion and second. Madam Clerk, we'll do roll call vote for that.
Mayor Pro Tem Garland,
No?
Councilmember Green,
No.
Councilman Morgan,
Yes.
Councilman Collins,
No.
Councilman Pollard,
Yes.
Councilman Palmer.
No.
All right, that motion failed. All right, now we're going to, revisit, the original motion of, 10065, being our PCA. And at this time, it has been motion and second. At this time, we'll go ahead and, do a roll call vote on that.
Mayor Pro Tem Garland,
Yes?
Councilmember Green,
Yes.
Councilman Morgan,
No.
Councilman Collins,
Yes.
Councilman Pollard,
Absolutely no.
Councilman Palmer.
Yes.
All right, that motion passed. Thank you, council. All right, we're gonna move right along on our agenda. We're gonna move now down to our city manager's report. And, city manager, Ford is going to give us a report.
Okay, so earlier today, I sent you all the results of the stormwater study that your administration prepared. I'll have them at the March work session to give y'all the details on that. I mean, I've been living with the obviously, just give y'all everything that's contained in it. Our CHIP application was successfully submitted, and we also have a recommendation for the Benson project, but I will present that in March as well.
Anything else? Okay, Mr. White, do you have anything?
So we finished scrap tire amnesty event this weekend. We got about 400, 500 tires. And again, that's free to us, it's completely reimbursed our taxpayers. The paving's finished up. They still got some striping to do. We'll still go through a cut list, any fixes, but RLD and RA projects come to a conclusion. I have no update on the Fuller Street, rehab for that pump station. And we have our, paper machine in, so we'll be doing some of these utility cuts, this week.
All right, thank you very much. Any comments or any questions for Luke or Cheryl? All right, hearing none. We're going to go down to other announcements. Do we have any announcement that anyone, councilman, would like to announce at this time?
I have one.
Go ahead.
For those watching the community in attendance, please pay attention on how your representation represents you. Tonight, we saw members of the District 1 delegation not vote for an affordable option for your rates. A member of the D1 delegation voted to increase your rates tonight. And also, I think we saw in a time of need where a member of our delegation abstained from voting, but today we didn't see a member of District 2 abstain themselves from voting on something that they would not pay the utility bill for. And I think that perspective is something that should be noted, thought about, put in your back pocket and used for another rainy day. My other point, when I spoke on the Black History Month proclamation regarding investments in our community, I think this is another opportunity to remind small business owners and minority-owned business owners of the emergency capital investment program that is currently housed at the Bank of Camilla. We had this discussion in 22. I believe when those funds were received, it was a federal appropriation. And I know the $13 million that bank received should still have funding available for our small businesses to apply for. So take that knowledge and make great use of it. That is for nonprofits, and I also think churches are included in that.
Thank you. Any other?
Councilman, well, echo, just Councilman Morgan's statement. Please be reminded, District 1, essentially what that means. Please be reminded. Also, for the record, city manager clerk, that change in lives that was exploited through our local people, take note that that was being corrected. Those emails that I read out, that information that was read out, that is noted for the record. The lie that was spread throughout the local people, and the correction through the email, that is on the record. The last way I will say this: the way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon them. Item be well. Journalists and civil rights activists. I yield.
All right. There's no other comments or announcements at this time.
One comment, just
Okay.
continue to brought up about utility, payers who pays utilities. I think we should take a tour around this table of who pays utilities, who pays property taxes. I think it might be revealing to do that.
Do
Right.
it. Do it. If that's what you feel.
All right, and this is his opinion.
I think it'd be better revealing.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and
and.
no other comments or anything. We're gonna go ahead and adjourn. Please make a motion to adjourn.
All right.
All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you, council. Thank you, public, for bearing with us and ones that are watching us.
Did you mess that up? So what? You messed that up? That's you. I'm kind of